bloody thumb.
Yeah. Yeah. Can we let him catch his breath? Anything that we stir up, let him process before we start going further. But he's still doing it. He's still catching up as far as I'm concerned. That to me is some of the thing that we really want to monitor. You good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just going right through me.
Yeah.
You asked the question before. This one's going right up to my shoulder.
Right. Yeah.
So you can physically feel the band. Is it travelling the band,
Yeah,
or is
it's up to my shoulder. I can still feel it.
Are you-
Fuck.
Do you feel it's loosening with the pain or just pain?
I can feel it loosening, but it's still fucking sore.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Don't clench. Oh, it's gone.
So the breath will clear it.
Yeah.
Will clear any of the shit that comes up for the person. Doing well, Bob. Doing well. So you can see just that alone, a few bits of points on the thumbs, has stirred up a lot.
Yeah.
Because they're key points.
Yeah.
And they're the roots of the tension that's coming right up into his jaw, into his head, and that's been tight many decades, I would say. So it was a while ago that you were a glazier too, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 15 years ago.
Yeah. So I'm just waiting. Okay. Just waiting. Yeah, let it until he calms down, yeah.
Was,
Are you getting any head dizziness or?
a little bit lightheaded, that one, yeah. Did the falling start to get a bit of a headache, but yeah.
So we stir it up, let them process it, stir up some more, let them process it, until it comes to a point that maybe they've had enough for the day, you know, or we've had enough. But usually, it's, in Bob's case, I think he's had enough.
It'll be me.
Yeah, it'll be.
He'll retire before you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can feel the back. Something fierce.
Is it going into your back, or
No, it's just the pain in my back.
is it because you've been worked too hard, or?
Laying too long.
Okay.
Do you want to sit up,
I
Bob?
was going to say, can you
No,
do it
no,
sitting
I
up?
can do it sitting up.
You can?
I can. I prefer it because a person can relax, and if they're a bit dizzy, then when they're lying down, the energy flows better.
Just
But if
lay
he's
it
got a
down.
bad back,
Just
then
keep
we
laying
can't
down
do
for
it.
the time being. No, it's okay for the time being.
And then we'll sit you up
I
later.
can handle a bit more yet, so it's not a problem.
Yeah.
So I'm right.
Okay. You good for a bit more?
I'm right, thank you. Yes,
Yep.
yes, yes.
Oh, you hear that? Double clicker in the joints? That was
Do that
great.
with my legs, with my back.
Yeah, well, yeah, we will eventually, but yeah. So that was good.
Oh.
Remember, I actually sort of tried that before. I hadn't done the work with the thing, and it wasn't letting go.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy about that. One thing I'm starting to see with Bob is that he does actually release relatively easily, considering how tight he is. But of course, we got to, you know, we do our spots. He has to breathe, but then he is letting go. So that's another good sign for Bob to actually get better. You know, obviously none of the doctors or physios or anything are doing really much for him, other than
Never have.
yeah. So I'm just coming back into that same area I was working and just working it a bit more. And monitoring how he's going with it. And again, I can do this where I work in there a bit. Hold it a second. And then move it slightly. Then let him have a rest. Oh. So it's all opening up now.
How's it feeling up when he's cracking it?
Great.
Is it relief?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh. That bit don't feel good, but the cookie does.
So I'll just sort of move over it a bit quickly.
So you've moved quickly because it's cracked.
Yeah, and also I don't want it to over. So I'm going lighter and quicker. Yeah, because I know how intense it is for him. So I'm just trying to see. I've got some of the roots of it out, and as we go here, we can go quicker. We end up going slow and deeper here before this joint, and then as we come past that joint, we can often move it. If we've done a good job here, we can then start to move it because the roots are already loosened. So then it's just a case of opening it, and that's how it is with this whole arm. If we've done a good job, then the roots are loosened. But I can come back in again and do another job there. Then I'm going to come in and do both other sides of his thumb. So the back of his thumb, just because I want this thumb done properly, and I know he's tight in here as well. And loosening this band will help with loosening the other band as well. Okay. But again, I just want to make sure that he's caught his breath and that he's relaxed. And he does look more and more relaxed. If you look at him compared to how he started, he's starting to look like he's going inside himself more and more. How you feeling, Bob?
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Good. So we'll let him take another couple deep breaths. And then I'm going to come through here. Again, watching him. Feel like we're on about an 8 or 9 there. Would you say an 8 or 9 there for Bo?
8.3.
Okay. Doesn't have to always be at his maximum. I don't want to always work him at his maximum if I don't have to. And I'm following it this way.
Oh yeah, that's a 9.
Okay.
Breathe.
And then right into this joint. Usually what I do with this one is I hold that point as it comes into the joint, and then I move the thumb like that into the chopstick. So just a sort of simple move. You can see Bob appreciates that. I'll let him breathe. How you going, Bob?
Good.
Good.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, good.
Which band is this? Is it a different band? Or still
Inner thumb band. Yeah, so the inner thumb band is going to come from here on the side, but it's also going to come from in here.
Oh, so it's both joined up too?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's quite possible, again, not without looking underneath the skin, that sometimes it could be still 2 distinct bands that are running side by side, really close together. Okay. At the moment, if I get the roots of all of them, that's the main thing, right? Even if we discover more bands later on, which I have a feeling there's got to be 8 rather than 7. It seems weird to have an odd number, and I think where the next band is likely to be would be the bottom of the big toe or the bottom of the thumb. Oh. That's where I'm thinking of this, possibly another band, which is where I'm working now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh gosh, feel that. That's so tight. Do you want to feel this? This is so tight. You just gently roll over that with the chopstick. Feel that?
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not going deep.
No. No, we don't want to go deep right now. But feel how tight that is? Yeah. So again, if that's not letting go down there, it must be held up here somewhere. Notice how he was saying like in here, around here was like a 9 for him. And I kind of didn't want to, that was my first run. So I do a first run and I'm sussing out what's going on, what's releasing. And then I might have to come back in. Like I said, come back to this spot. Or even slightly more there. see how we go down here. So how's that one, Bob?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Uh,
He was getting more through here.
oh, there we get higher. Oh.
Okay. So what I'm going to do with that one is just hold that there and let him breathe into it. But I don't want him tightening up against me. Can you still breathe into that, Bob? Okay, I'll let you just breathe into it. Definitely don't want you tightening up against me and spasming your back or anything. I can ease off if you want me to.
Thank you.
Yeah, how's that?
That's better.
Yeah. So I feel like it's probably held in this spot, which is then making that one tight, which is then going to add to all this. So it's going to just all work together, and that's why I'm getting his whole thumb looser. So let him have a little rest. Not going any pressure. Then I'm going to increase that again a little bit. I'll stimulate it slightly.
That's slightly, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's good.
Ever so slightly. Because it's quite intense. Feel that, like that slight movement, and it's like, takes that intensity up there. How's that one?
That's all right.
Yeah.
It's better than no way.
So this is why I say it takes patience and perseverance to strip a thumb or a big toe of tension. So I'm just holding that point. And then, how's that, Bob?
Lovely.
Yeah, nothing like a nice relaxing massage. Good, I'll let you catch your breath. And I'll just...
Are you feeling it releasing?
I think it has, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Notice how even his arm seems to be like kind of going down here a bit more. It's not as, it doesn't feel like in this part quite as stiff as what it was, you know, where it was all jammed up. It's actually, I feel like he's letting his arm go down a little bit more as we get his thumb a little bit looser. So then coming in, this is a fairly intense area. And then just stimulate
Definitely
it.
got the G spot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you're pushing quite hard there?
Medium, just actually light to medium. Yeah, I'm doing, because I'm moving it a bit more, I'm not going quite as deep. But I'm still going deep enough where I can shift it, but it just takes me a few run overs to build up his, because my limiting factor in depth is how much he can handle. Right? Because it's very intense for him. And here feels like I said, we've come to this point a few times before where he definitely starts to feel like a charge in there. So then I'm just doing things like that where I'm just moving the thumb slightly, stimulating it, letting him just feel that, but breathe into it. I just don't want him tightening up against me too, so I'm careful of that, especially with his back the way it is. Still good, Bob?
It's wonderful.
Okay. That's good. So I'll do a bit on these other bands that I've worked on just to give him a rest on that band. How you feeling, Bob?
Good.
Good?
Yeah, I have.
So I've already worked here, but I just come in and they've had a little rest now, so I'm working them a bit more. Just want to give that, what I just worked, a bit of a rest. So it's sort of crossing over with the thumb, basically.